Hi to all. I just wanted to give some of the questions that our listeners have brought us and have a little short session on Borer, on some of the questions that we've received regarding Borer. Remember, Borer, the malacha of it's on the one hand, it's scary because there's not many drabanans. It's all darais, it's all biblical. But on the other hand, if you know what you're doing, you could almost always do whatever you want. Unlike most other malachas where you can't cook and you can't color and you can't clean. But boer is separating as long as you know ochel yava alter, the three pronged heter, good from the bad, and for immediate consumption, and not using a separating instrument. So those three often allow you to do what you want to do. Our first question: my child finished playing with his toys, and I want to clean them up and put them where they belong, sorting them by color. Am I allowed to do so? Cleaning up toys, cleaning up anything. A game is a problem because I'm putting it away for later. And sorting is also an issue of borer. So what do? I don't want to just put away and have all the pieces just in a mush and mixed up. So what do? So with the way we spoke about is that you pick up a bunch and then you toss them on the ground and you separate the pieces from themselves. You unmix the mixture, right? That was one of the ways that if you couldn't fulfill the three conditions, one of the other ways is to unmix the mixture. Ramosha has the truth about silverware, taking some silverware and throwing them on the table. And it separates. Once it separates, it's no longer a mixture. And therefore, there's no problem with then taking the pieces and putting them back. So too with the parts of a game, the different color pieces. So you take a few, you toss them, so they separate on the floor. Once they're all separated, unmixing a mixture on Shabbos is not a malacha, and therefore that is what one would be able to do. So that was question one. Question two: we're having salmon that has bones in it for the Suda Friday night. Would setting aside the bones be considered borer? So lechatchila, yes, that's what we mentioned. The Shmir Shabbos notes that is why gefilte fish came to be. Gefilte filled up. It's a fish without bones because bones create a real problem for Hilchos Borer. Because again, the best thing to do is to eat the flesh around the bones and leave the bones on the table. The shaila is, what if it's impossible? If you have an adult and somebody's going to be careful of the bones, fine. But what if you have a child? You want to feed the child. So then what do? You have to get rid of the bones. So there is a heter that we called from Ramosha Yad Lepeh. If it's right before you eat it, do you have to put it in your mouth and take it out? What if you find that disgusting? What if you don't want to do that? So there is a heter called Yad Lepeh. Right before it, not half an hour beforehand. The second that right before you eat it, you're going to serve it to a child right before you eat it, right before you eat the watermelon, taking out the pits if you don't think you can put it in your mouth and spit it out. Right beforehand, take it out, and that would be called part of the achila process, right? Just like there's no borer in your mouth, right? Taking pits out of your mouth is not a problem. There's no tochen grinding with your teeth. There's no malacha like that. There's no lush by the saliva getting into the whatever's in your mouth. So there's no borer in your mouth. So it's just like the number in the mail. So if we extend that a little bit in very extenuating circumstances where you have to take out the bones or else you're not going to be able to eat it, or taking out the pits, that would be allowed, yad lepeh. And finally, number three, I was serving chicken soup and found a hair in the liquid. Am I allowed to take it out? What do you do if something falls in and you don't want it? So when it's like a black jelly bean amongst jelly beans, then we know. Just eat their jelly beans and leave the black jelly bean in the bowl. But here, you don't want to leave the hair. You want to take it out. So what do? So we mentioned that what you do is you take out some soup along with the hair. Meaning you take from underneath and you take out the whole thing. What is that doing? The hair is not mixed up in the entire soup. It's only mixed up in the soup that's touching around it. And therefore, when you remove that whole area, you've removed the mixture. The entire mixture has been removed. That's not a problem. There's no malacha of putting a mixture from place A to place B. That's not a problem. And therefore, one should do that, and one could remove the hair or the bug along with something else. And that's some of these. Remember, when you're moving things around within a mixture, that's not a problem. Let's say there's cholent, and somebody asked me only for potatoes, they don't want any meat. So I'm going to move things around within a mixture. That's not borer. Borer is only when they're separating the bad from the good, or the good from the bad without the other conditions. But moving around within a mixture, that's not called borer. Have a great day. Some of the borer questions, keep them coming. The questions about our Tzuva Merabanan series.